back to my channel. I'm Reina Scully, coming to you from Hiroshima with my mom. Hi, Mommy! This is my first time ever in Hiroshima, so I was so excited and honored when Klook reached out to me to partner with them on this campaign to showcase Hiroshima. So this is the furthest from home I've ever been within Japan, which is exciting in and of itself, but I'm really grateful for this opportunity because comparatively, I know very little about Hiroshima and the tragic history of World War II. As a Japanese native, I've always felt quite guilty not knowing much about it, and my mom keeps warning me that it's very, very intense and I'm probably going to get very emotional. So yeah, probably gonna cry. We'll see how that goes. But of course, history lessons aren't all that Hiroshima has to offer. There is so much to do in this beautiful city and I'm so excited to explore it with you. It is a 4-hour Shinkansen trip from Mishima, which is like kind of a long time. We just checked into our hotel room, as you can see, and it's almost dinner time. So I think we're gonna explore around the hotel and have some Okonomiyaki for dinner. We stayed at the Riga Royal Hotel, which I highly recommend if you want to explore Hiroshima. It's in a wonderful location where you can just walk and access everything. It is a bit of a trek, a 25-minute walk from the main Hiroshima train station, but absolutely doable if you don't have too much luggage. And we received a little complimentary Momiji Manju. This was one of the executive rooms, which are on the higher floors, and it comes with a complimentary breakfast at the top floor restaurant, and you get to choose between a Japanese breakfast or a Western breakfast. I personally prefer Japanese breakfasts in general, but this one was truly one of the best I've ever had. Their presentation was excellent, and the quality of the ingredients were very, very apparent. Their Western breakfast was also absolutely delicious and meticulously made. Their beef stew on scrambled eggs was a revelation, and they also bake their bread in-house, so it was always warm and fluffy. So Hiroshima is known for their version of Okonomiyaki, which has yakisoba inside of it, and we asked the hotel concierge what their recommendation was for like a restaurant nearby, and they suggested like the most famous place, which is called Micchan, Micchan, Souhonten, Micchan Souhonten. It's only a 10-minute walk from the hotel, which is so great, and it looks so good. Kanpai! After dinner, we randomly decided to check out the department store that's kind of adjacent to the hotel, and lo and behold, it had a Pokemon Center in it, which was such a fun surprise. They had a good amount of merch that I've never seen before, so I was tempted to go on like a little bit of a spending spree, but I did stop myself, mainly because I don't have any luggage space, but I did buy this because it's exclusive to Hiroshima. It's a Pikachu Momiji Manju. My cousin did mention, he's like, you might want to open them up because there's a big chance that they're not like Pokemon or Pikachu themed at all on the inside, and it's just the box, which would be really, really sad. So let's open it here together and see what they look like on the inside and hope that they're Pokemon-y. Okay, so the box is 100% like very Pokemon-y, but this is looking very suspicious. We have oimo flavored, potato flavored, gochujang, so smooth red bean paste flavored, chocolate flavored, cream cheese flavored, and tsubuan, which are like, not that tsubuan, red bean paste that's not as smooth. I like tsubuan, so let's go with this. Oh no, that is so sad. They're literally just shaped like the Japanese maple leaves, which is like okay, but I guess you're just, the only thing Pokemon about this is the box. This is what it looks like when you spread it out. But, all right, I got. Let's taste test it anyway. Itadakimasu. I mean, it's delicious. There's nothing Pokemon about it. It is really yummy. Ohayou gozaimasu! My mom and I just finished breakfast at the hotel and we're going to be headed to another hotel, which is where the meeting spot is for the guided tour. We're going to take a ferry to Miyajima Island and we're going to check out Itsukushima Shrine, which is so exciting because my mom and I love shrines. And then I believe we're going to have lunch on the island and then come back to the mainland, and we're going to get a guided tour of the Peace Memorial and the Atomic Bomb Dome. Very much looking forward to it. I'm really excited to learn more and get educated. So let's head out. So I was just talking to my mom, and I don't think I've ever been on a guided tour before. This is a new experience for me. Before we actually get to Miyajima, I'd like to thank Klook for partnering with me and for sponsoring this video. I'm a huge fan of Klook. It is my favorite app to book everything from Shinkansen tickets to one-day walking tours to even Disneyland. A lot of Japanese websites are very hard to navigate, and some booking places don't even accept non-Japanese credit cards, which is exactly why you need Klook when traveling, not just in Japan, but all over the world. Klook completely streamlines the process of booking anything while traveling. It is so easy, convenient, and reliable. They even do the currency conversions for you, so you don't have to calculate or compare anything at all. I booked our Hiroshima walking tour through Klook, and now I can tell you from experience that it was amazing. Klook took all the guesswork out of planning our trip, and it just made it so much more enjoyable because I didn't have to worry about anything. Plus, they have promos and flash sales all the time, so if you're thinking of traveling to Japan or anywhere else in the world, sign up for Klook today by clicking the link in my description below, and be sure to check out the app as well. It's going to make your traveling experience so much better. So, you know how I mentioned before that I've never been a part of guided tours? I am a huge fan now. It's so much fun and it's so educational. I'm learning so much, and on top of it, you don't have to think about anything. They take care of you completely. You just have to follow the little flag. I love it. It really did feel like a school field trip, which made it even more fun. I probably could have spent a whole day in Miyajima. I really loved it, and it left an impression on me. And there are of course touristy areas, but I personally love narrow streets with souvenir shops and food stalls, so I was into it. And there are several streets that are like this, so you can pick and choose which one is less crowded at the time. And this walking tour took us on a small trek to the 5-storied red pagoda and Senjokaku, which is adjacent to it. Senjokaku literally means 1,000 tatami mats, which depicts how absolutely massive this building is. Senjokaku was originally intended to be a temple, but they never finished it, so now it just remains as this really huge historic relic. Alright, so I just have to get this out of the way. I can't show any footage from Itsukushima Jinja, and that's because there are a lot of artifacts that are on display all throughout the shrine, and most, if not all of those artifacts, are completely prohibited from being photographed, even for personal purposes. So therefore, grabbing footage from the shrine and then getting it approved is a very lengthy and difficult process. So I'm really sorry that I don't have any images of Itsukushima Jinja to show you. Except I was told that charms and goshuin are okay to show, so let me show you what I got. So this is the ema I got from the shrine. You normally write your wishes on the back and then you put it up in the shrine somewhere for display, but you could also bring it home with you. I chose to bring it home with me. It has artwork of the floating torii gates and the shrine butai, or the shrine stage, in the background. And my mom got this omamori for Airi, and it has cute deer on it. And finally, this is the goshuin that I received from the shrine. All right, I am at the end of the shrine walk, and I'm gonna get some more omamori as omiyage for my family. So this next portion is about the atomic bomb dome and the Peace Memorial Museum. A lot of the imagery is purposefully shocking, depressing, and quite honestly, frightening to ensure that the horrors of nuclear weapons are never forgotten, and in hopes of reminding the world to never ever use nuclear weapons again. I'm not gonna lie to you, both my mom and I were very emotional afterwards. We kept it together during the tour, but once we disbanded, the tears started flowing. And she did warn me that that was gonna be the case. It's very overwhelming to learn about this at this depth in the location that it occurred. And there were also a lot of students from all across Japan visiting this area as well. It's oftentimes a part of your curriculum to take a school field trip to Hiroshima and learn about basically everything in the Peace Memorial Museum. I grew up in the States, so obviously I never had that experience, and in my Japanese school, we only learned about Hiroshima and Nagasaki pretty superficially. It was important to me personally to learn as much about it during this trip to kind of fill that hole. But again, it really was overwhelming. The sorrow we feel is for the innocent civilians, and I think we can all understand and agree on that. And there are never any real victors in war. All sides lose, always. And as I mentioned before, the imagery, like photographs and artwork, and poems and letters, and artifacts like clothes, were so shocking because this museum is completely unfiltered. I think the Peace Memorial Museum does a great job of what they set out for, which is to, again, remind us all of how absolutely horrific it was in an effort to never repeat it again. And to help reiterate this notion, as I was coming back from my Hiroshima trip, the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to Nihon Hidankyo. Nihon Hidankyo is a Japanese organization created by hibakusha, or atomic bomb survivors, who dedicated their lives to warning against the use of nuclear weapons and advocating for a world free of nuclear war. There are very few hibakusha left to share their personal experiences of what happened when the atomic bomb was dropped, so there's this notion that the intensity and aftermath of it would slowly be forgotten. This is an appropriate fear to have as the world becomes more complicated and threats of nuclear weapon usage becomes more common. It's a crucial time to be reminded of those consequences. The Nobel Peace Prize announcement and my Hiroshima trip were absolute coincidences. I just found it fascinating to have just learned so much about it, and then a mere few days later learn about the recipients. Congratulations to Nihon Hidankyo for their tireless efforts. Now back to that day. After paying our respects, the tour was done, so my mom and I decided to walk back, and for dinner we tried another okonomiyaki place. All right, now that we're done crying, it is dinner time, and we were debating what we should do and get for dinner because we had tempura, oysters, and anago for lunch, which was so delicious, but it was a little bit on the heavy side. And last night we had our Hiroshima-yaki, okonomiyaki, but I feel like we want more of that. Like, I want to tabekurabe, like eat and compare different restaurants. So we're now at Goemon, Umaiya, and they are known for their okonomiyaki as well. And they're also known for their cheese oyster dish, which I'm like really interested to see what it's like. So yeah, just waiting for our turn now. This is the cheesy oyster. どうなってるの? ママやって。おー、美味しそう。どんな味だろう。Oh, it's hot and bubbly. いただきます。ママ、美味しい。すごい相性がいい。美味しそう。いただきます。Oh, hot. Oh, this one's, the sauce is like a little bit sweeter. 美味しい. It goes really, really well with the kimchi one that we got. In conclusion, the cheesy oyster bake was divine. Like, that really was so delicious and phenomenal. And it was also really nice having your own personal teppan table. However, I do have to admit that Micchan's okonomiyaki was much better. Micchan's noodles were really the perfect chewy, bouncy texture. You can't beat that. Ohayou gozaimasu! It is our final day in Hiroshima and it's so nice out. Like the weather is fantastic. Today we're gonna go check out Hiroshima Castle, and I do believe there's also a pretty big shrine that's a part of the castle grounds. You can actually see it from our hotel. Look at that. Bye room! お世話になりました. So we are on our own today. No tour guide, nothing like that. Just me and my mom. We're on our way to Hiroshima-jo. Trying really hard not to get lost. It's this way now. So as you can see, the weather is fantastic. It's a wonderful day. Very different from the last 2 days. So a really interesting phenomenon always happens. Mama, what is ame onna? Ame onna って何?
どこに行っても計画して行っても私がいるだけで雨になる。
毎回
雨になる。
だよね。どこ行ってもそうだよね。
どこ行っても。
I feel like my 晴れ女 beat your 雨女.
You win.
I win. Oh my, this is Hiroshima Castle's mascot? Oh my goodness, what's your name? Shironya. Shironeko. Top of the castle, which is essentially an observation deck. It's very, very narrow. You can see pretty much all of Hiroshima from here. And there's a little bit of alcohol in here, she said. She even asked us if we were driving. Which one's cute? I feel like this one's super cute. Ira's the ear of the tiger. Okay, let's see what it says. Daikichi! Demashita! Kanaimasu youni. Oh, since I didn't bring my Goshuincho, get a little page that you could place in the book instead with today's date on it. Ooh, and it comes with this. That's so thoughtful. So it doesn't crease. Alright, so we are at the very last few hours of our Hiroshima trip. I got fried oysters for my final meal, and my mom got an algae ramen. Wow, it looks really good. Oishou. I'm gonna try my mom's algae ramen. めっちゃくちゃ美味しい。やばい、私もこれにすればよかった。美味しい。And here are my fried oysters. Yay! 美味しい。このソースが美味しい。And now the last thing we're gonna do is get some omiyage for everybody back home. There's so much to choose from. Obviously the main thing would be Momiji Manju, but there's so many different flavors and so many different brands. And they also have a lot of oyster flavored things or themed things, lemon flavored and themed stuff. We're gonna check it all out, buy a bunch of things, and then finally head home. Now, before I end this video, I wanted to do a quick little taste test of some of the omiyage I got from Hiroshima. They looked tasty and fun and interesting, and I thought maybe it might give you an idea of what you could get for omiyage if you visit Hiroshima. So the first one we have here is the classic traditional Momiji Manju omiyage or souvenir that you would get. It comes in a nice box, and I do believe there are some assorted flavors. It is the Nishikido brand, which I do believe is like one of the main 3 Momiji Manju brands out there. The Pikachu Pokemon Momiji Manju brand is also Nishikido. So I'm a little bit afraid that the exact same thing that's in this is in here, but we'll see. It's in a very pretty box. Wow. Oh, okay, they're not assorted flavors. This one's all koshiyang, which is the smooth red bean paste. And it looks exactly like the Pokemon one. Hold on. No! It looks exactly the same! That's okay, it's still tasty. And next up, these are the oyster snacks I got. So, kaki no tane is a pretty popular and common peanut and rice cracker snack. This one is Hiroshima specific, and it's flavored with oysters and lemon, which I obviously could have never like even imagined that it exists as a snack. And it's also a little bit of a pun. So kaki no tane is it's just describing what the shape of the rice cracker looks like. It looks like seeds of persimmon fruits. That's just like its name. But kaki in Japanese is oysters, so this is kaki no tane. I know the inflection doesn't really like sound different to you, but it sounds like completely different to us. So this is kaki no tane, not kaki no tane. Anyway, it doesn't smell oystery or lemony. It actually just smells like a bunch of peanuts. See, it looks like a little persimmon seed. Itadakimasu. It's more lemony than anything, which is actually really tasty. Oh, afterwards you get hit with a little bit of like a shrimpy aroma, but it's not seafoody flavored at all. Like it doesn't taste fishy at all. It's actually really interesting. I think it's tasty, but if you just blindly gave this to me, I would never ever be able to tell you what this flavor is other than lemon and a little bit of like something different. I wouldn't be able to pinpoint what that something different is. And finally, we have this. I'm very much looking forward to this. So this is a Micchan Souhonten osenbei. So a rice cracker senbei that is flavored like the Okonomiyaki that we had the first night. The packaging is also really cute, so I had to buy it. Let's see how close it is to the real thing. Ah, I cracked it. Oh well. So it looks like this, and it looks very much like a literal okonomiyaki cracker. Itadakimasu. You know, it doesn't capture the essence of how good Micchan actually is. Like, it's yummy, but it's not like, whoa, yummy, the way Micchan was. Gochisou-sama deshita. Now that is really it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to Klook for partnering with me. Let me know in the comments if you've ever been to Hiroshima and what you enjoyed most there. And if you've never been to Hiroshima, please let me know what looks fun and what you'd like to see and go do there. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Sonja matta ne! Bye bye!